Oh man, yeah, you check this out. This is pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it's the latest of whatever widgets. Yeah. Oh, hey, how long you been? Oh, you've been here? Oh, I'm sorry. You've been here for a few, haven't you? Yeah, I was just chatting with my bro in the back. Oh, what brings you in? Oh, you're looking to have this bike worked on? Okay. We're not really familiar with this brand, but I'll take a look at it. Yeah, look at this. We really don't do this kind of bike, and I'm not really familiar with this brand, but we'll take a look at it. This kind of riding around here is just, not really conducive for this kind of a beast. So, yeah. Nightmare service riders, right? We'll talk about that after this.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with a guy. This is As the Wheel Turns, So Do Days of Our Rides series. I will be covering topics of the industry as well as consumer views with my 30 years experience.
If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Welcome back to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with the guy. Hey, I'm Justin, the guy on As the Wheel Turns, So Do Days of Rides. A big topic has hit and landed in a lot of my comments of previous videos, and also a customer of mine has experienced this kind of crap service that has become the norm in a lot of shops. And we're going to talk about the nightmare service rider, right? What is that? Yeah, boy, we've all experienced that in some level or another, from either the cycling industry, cars, motorcycles, anything that has a service department. We run into that individual and you just have this like sinking feeling like I am not in the right spot, or this is just not going to go well for me. Well, the nightmare service departments in cycling, yeah, there is a lot out there to be, well, it should be done a lot better. Well, let's talk about this. And going towards the end, we're going to have what you should do or what you can do to help you prevent that nightmare situation. But let's start off from the beginning. Back in the beginning, well, service riders have been around, well, from the beginning of service. Really what it came from is mainly managers or store owners or children of the owners like myself. We actually represented the shop from the sales portion of it as well as the service. Small mom and pop shops where I came from, basically I did everything from checking somebody in for a repair to helping them with a bike, fitting them with a helmet, checking out the shoes that they need to use for getting the clipless, or whatever the case may be. Well, the shops have grown over the years and they developed more positions. Well, the mechanics in the back that pushed a few of them up front to be designated service riders. Sometimes this is a good mix and sometimes it's not whatsoever. It became a position where there's a lot on their shoulders. They got to have the experience and knowledge of all these bikes of different ages, not just the brands that they carry, but other brands too, to be more of a rounded service department. In addition to other responsibilities of inventory, customer service, communication with customers, all those things. So basically it is a management position, but just as a service rider, like assistant to the assistant manager position. Yeah, that lays a lot of places where there can be huge problems. Let's talk about those problems. I get it. I mean, there's a lot of things you got to do as a service rider, and being in the industry for as long as I have, yeah, it almost is like muscle memory. But for those who are just starting off, I'm not getting any excuses here, but for starting off, it can kind of be overwhelming, and there's a lot of responsibility to that individual that has to do all this. If it's done right and trained properly, you can have the best outcome possible, but these are the 4 things you really need to watch out for in the nightmare service rider. Well, you have the know-it-all guy, or gal. They know it all. They project themselves like, I know everything and I'm going to talk down towards you. This is not right. And that's the kind of attitude that you get immediately. You just need to walk right out. The second one is I don't care guy. That person is like, I don't really care to be here too much, and I don't really care about your bike as much either. I just, I care about getting a paycheck. That's why I'm sitting on this bench. That projected of I don't care attitude, and we've seen it in a lot of different industries. Cycling is definitely not short of it as well, but you want to prevent taking your bike to the I don't care person. Another thing you need to watch out for is the one that's gonna make you feel like you just got ripped off. Sometimes the communication from a bike mechanic, some of those bike mechanics are not very verbally inclined to talk to people or to have that communication line out there, because they're really focused on fixing things, and sometimes they don't project or don't say things correctly, or it just sounds like you're just giving a laundry list of things you just need to have to pay for. But when it comes down to, you know, when it comes down to, you got to watch out for the individual. It's just either they're working on commission and they're just going to try to load up the front end, or they have sales numbers they're going to try to hit. Those kind of environments can be very toxic, and that's where you get that I'm going to get ripped off if I walk in kind of feel, and you want to avoid those service departments as well. And lastly, the fourth one is like, is my bike going to get damaged? Is it going to go in and be worse when it comes back out? If you read a few reviews like that from the shop, oh, you don't want to go there, not whatsoever. Because you may have some individuals in the back that may not be trained or don't really care about what they're doing, or all the other three things before. They know it all, but they don't know anything. Oh boy. Yeah, unfortunately, it's out there, and it really gives the rest of us that are trying a bad name. So what are the things you need to watch out for? The eye rolls, or the bad attitude? Yeah. Or the one that just gives you like, well, that bike is so old, you may want to, get a new one, but they're putting on that salesperson hat, I'm going to try to sell you a new bike, because I don't want to explain to my mechanic in the back that I need to work on this bike that's more than 20 years old. Yeah, it's happened, and it's horrible. That's intolerable to me. Plus, the other things you need to watch out for is when they're estimating and they're giving you a full estimate, because you don't want that mechanic to be calling you like a day later or two after it was supposed to be done. Oh, we need to order some parts, or it's going to cost more to work on. Things happen, but a good service writer should catch all those things on the front hand and tell you, it may cost you a little more here, maybe here. We'll give it a try, but these things might be coming down the line you may have to pay for. It's usually one thing is things that need to be addressed immediately for safety. Second, wear points on the bike that maybe need to be addressed at a later time and look forward to. And third, to make sure it's safe to ride all together at any particular point of the journey. And timelines, are they consistent of, dropping off the bike and it's done in 2 days? The 24-hour service places, I kind of question, because I've done service up to about 48 hours, and that's a big push with really good mechanics. That's the kind of a stress environment where you're probably not going to get the best mechanic work on your bike. They'd be great mechanics, but when they're under the gun, nobody is at their best performance level in that situation. Food for thought. And getting wrong parts put on your bike, like an 8-speed chain on a 10-speed system, and mistakes happen, but that's really a booger. You'll have to definitely take it back and get it rectified. In addition to, if that service rider is looking at that bike and it's like, oh, that's not the right part that's supposed to be on here. Well, if it was worked on a guy like me that knows that more parts are more universally used, that doesn't look good on me, but I know that those particular parts do work with my 30 years experience. You get some fresh out of the gate Yahoo that thinks they know it all, they might be giving you a bad line of Kool-Aid right out of the gate. And especially if you talk to the service department that openly talks bad about other shops, walk away. That's horrible. That's intolerable. It's supposed to be a community of bike shops. We're not supposed to be undercutting each other. That was done in the 90s and it didn't go well. All right, you went to the shop, you didn't know any better. They worked on your bike. They seemed okay up front, and things were not right. Either the wrong parts, too late, cost on things were not explained. Any of those things that can go wrong in the nightmare situation. Well, first, you need to take it back. Like, these are the things that are not done right. I'm dissatisfied for X, Y, and Z. That has to happen. If that doesn't resonate and they don't make it right from the service manager level, or a service writer level, you need to go to the manager. Then you need to, if the manager doesn't take care of it, you need to go to the owner. At some point, the buck stops somewhere and they need to make it right. They may not know that particular individual is doing what they're doing at their service department. And it's intolerable, it needs to be changed. You can't just say, no, that's not going to work. But keep in mind that if you go up, you can give them a chance to fix it situation, but at the end of the day, it needs to be addressed. And lastly on that part, if you don't have any warm and fuzzy after getting everything fixed from that first bad experience, you're going to have to write a review. Please inform the other individuals in the cycling community that this is not the shop to take your bike to be worked on. I know it's ugly. I usually don't like to preach negativeness, but those reviews are a way to save others from hardship and a lot of money. And you can also flip that, try to write 2 positives, 5 positives to 1 negative. Not that particular one, but in general. Reason being is a negative review can really be somewhere they need to address. And when you put it right in the social media platform, it's not a phone call, just you and the person that's the owner. It actually puts it out there, and it'll actually make them make those changes. You may not have their business, they may not have your business anymore, but for the next customer that comes in, they may hopefully have a better experience. I definitely just scared the pants off of you, right? Yeah. Yeah, I've scared the pants off of you, and you just want to go look up YouTube videos and work it on yourself and never go into a bike shop ever again. We're not all that bad. Please, please give some of us a chance, because I would say a lot of us out there have been working in the industry for a long period of time, and there's some really good cats out there to help you for your cycling needs, and hopefully and keep you encouraged to keep doing so. Yeah, well, okay. Well, there's a couple things you can do to take away that nightmare of a situation right out of the gate. Well, let's talk about that. You know, there's a lot of bike shops. There's a good chance there's a lot of bike shops in your neck of the woods, right? And you have a choice. Number one, just go, hey Google, bike shops near me. Guess what? You're going to have like 3 or 4 to 10 to 15 shops, and they all have reviews. Check out the reviews. Hopefully some of those reviews will tell you which ones to kind of stay away from, or it's really not your niche of a bike shop you want to go to for your kind of riding, and some ones that may stick out. All right, that's the first wave of figuring things out. That takes like a hot second to do. The second thing, it takes a little more of a lift. Go into a couple of those shops. Hopefully the ones closer to you. Start there. And just go to walk in and ask the service writer or manager, like, oh, how long you been here? How long you been working on bikes? What kind of bikes do you ride? Those kind of fielding questions to get a kind of a feel of their experience. And also what you're doing is you're building a rapport with that shop too, which is really kind of cool, because if you build a rapport with a shop, if everything goes well and there are good individuals that mesh with your kind of riding and your kind of personality and all that, you have a shop that you will enjoy for all times. If not, those are the questions you need to ask when you walk in, getting kind of a feel. In addition to, but not last, but the vibe of the shop. You walk in, listen to the salespeople. All this could be done within 5 to 10 minutes. Is that first impression? It goes miles. I'm sorry, as a bike shop, you're always on your A game. You're on your first date every day, every minute of the day. And when you're in the shop or any retail, that's what has to be projected for whatever customer that comes in. So the vibe, does it mesh with your kind of riding and so forth? If you're just a recreational rider and you walk into a mountain bike style, that's all they do is mountain bikes, that's cool and fine and dandy. And mountain bikes might be something you'd be interested in a later date, but it may not be your fit for now. And if you get into a shop that's like fits your needs, like you're looking at a family mom and pop type shop or a local shop, it could be even the bigger box store shops too, REI or Trek or Specialized stores. Definitely, if that's what you're limited to, check them out as well. But at the end of the day, what you're trying to find is a good communications. I feel comfortable taking my bike here. And then you can fill those questions. And when you walk in with your first repair, have a little laundry list of things that need to be addressed. Make sure they take note of those. Make sure they're taking very good notes on everything that needs to be addressed in addition to the tune-up or whatever that needs to be done. You can develop a good relationship. I have great relationships on several of my customers, and they're basically, to this point, on some of them, they just roll their bike in and like, do what you do. Because they understand that I'm not going to take them for a ride on costs. I'm not going to put on parts that don't need to be put on there. My time put on there is going to attention to detail and make sure everything's done right. If you find a mechanic and you trust that, I hope that's what you find at the end of the day, is that kind of relationship with a service department. I have a few service departments that I go to that I need help with when I've, like, hey, I need a part for this or whatever, or a little bit of insight on how do you work on your brand kind of thing. I am the customer, but I do fill those questions, and if I get the BS line, I'm just going to like, okay, I'm going to go figure this out myself. Yes, you don't have to be totally scary. The reasons why you bring in your bike is to be checked and for safety. If they don't do like those smaller little things for complimentary, like swapping out pedals or doing a safety check on your bike or anything of that kind of nature, that's something that you want to hope to find in a shop. Those shops will go, bend over backwards for you, and you'll have the best results possible. So yeah, there are some nightmare service departments out there. Yeah, in all industries, right? So field a couple questions, do a little bit of homework on the front end. I guarantee you'll eventually land on a shop. It may not be perfect, but it's better than some others, and you want to go there. That will possibly save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars down the line on service work, in addition to making sure your bike is safe and encourage you to ride more and becoming more of that cycling community that I hope we are all trying to implore. No. Which I hope that we're all trying to shoot for. So hopefully I take the nightmare out of the service department for you, and hopefully you can find a shop near you that actually will do those particular things and help you get on the road without feeling like you feel the warm and fuzzy. Big hug. Everybody wants a big hug, right? Thank you for spending time with me in the garage. Until next time, have a great day.